say, getting in the groove now. Just need to work together a couple of times. Come back tomorrow, it'll all be a lot better. Welcome to Casa Negra, I'm Brad McDonald. Today we're gonna make 3 dishes that are gonna help you throw an excellent summertime Mexican festival. So the 3 dishes that I'm gonna do today are guacamole, sea bass ceviche, and cochinita pibil tacos. First dish up is going to be guacamole. We're gonna start by toasting avocado leaves. You're gonna toast it just until it starts to turn, it looks like it's turning wet. Bring that off. Next, we're going to chop white onion. I usually provide about 1 avocado per guest. So depending on how many guests you have, you can decide how much onion you can cut from there. Next, we're gonna chop the jalapeno. 1 jalapeno for every 4 avocados should give you a nice mild to medium heat. Next, we're gonna take raw garlic, crush it, and then just give it 1 quick run over with the knife. Almost a rough paste, if you will. Finally, we're going to squeeze some limes. Then we're going to chop our coriander. Mexican cuisine is really a cuisine without any ego. Chop this as fine or as rough as you like. I just like to go through it once over with a knife. Great, so we're gonna take our avocado leaf, crush that into the molcajete, and then grind that into a powder. You'll smell the anise flavor that's coming off from the crushed avocado leaf. Then take your avocado, scoop it out into the molcajete. So now I'm gonna add my other raw ingredients. I'll start with a pinch of salt, a couple of spoonfuls of lime juice, the garlic, onion, and jalapeno, and then simply crush to make a nice paste. Lastly, we're going to finish with fresh chopped coriander. Our next dish we're going to prepare is a sea bass ceviche. It is made by simply cooking the raw sea bass inside of lime juice and then seasoning it with pickled red onions, chopped scotch bonnet, celery, and serving it over the top of a fresh tostada. So we're going to start by filleting the skin off of our bass. I like to split it 4 ways. So here we have our fish dice, and then we're just going to simply take some lime juice, which I have a little bit here. You only need enough lime juice just to cover. You're going to set that aside in the cooler for a minimum of 10 minutes or half an hour if you like. Then we're going to take a little raw red onion, slice very thinly. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Place it in a container and cover it with lime juice. Set this aside as well. As you can see, we have some prepared here that were made yesterday. It's beautiful. What happens is the acid draws a little bit of the pigment out, and then it brings it into the actual lime juice and makes this really beautiful color for presentation. Our next step is going to be to cut our Scotch bonnet pepper. If you can find true habaneros, I would encourage you to use those. Next is a simple cut of celery. So now we're just going to assemble the dish. Really simple. I'm going to take the fish, strain off the lime juice. As you can see, this fish here has been cooking for about 30 minutes, so it still has a nice raw texture to it. As you can see the cook on it, it's cooked around the outside. Then we'll add some red onion, a little pinch of celery, Scotch bonnet chili, a pinch of chopped coriander, and just a drop of olive oil. If you'd like, we can add a little bit more lime juice back to the mix, a pinch of salt. Simply scoop everything into a bowl for presentation. Add a little fresh lime juice, another drizzle of olive oil, quick pinch of salt, and there you go. For our main course dish, we're going to make cochinita pibil, which is a pork shoulder rubbed in a puree made from guajillo chilies, achiote paste, which is actually a seed from the annatto flower, which is indigenous to Central American culture, orange juice, cloves, garlic, and then we're going to make an ishnapek, which is our salsa, which is an onion salsa, a blend of red onions and Scotch bonnet pepper marinated in lime juice. So we're just going to simply take some garlic cloves, onion, a couple of cloves, the achiote paste, and then the guajillo, which we're gonna soak in warm water for about 10 minutes to soften, and then finish with some orange juice inside. Once that comes out of the blender, we have a really nice, fine puree. So we're gonna begin by salting our pork. You can do this quite heavily. It's a big piece of meat. It's really important that you salt your meat. Preferably, you can brine this overnight. If you use for 24 hours in a 10% salt brine, and that's gonna allow the flavors to come out stronger on your palate in the end. Next, so we're just gonna take this paste, put it over the top of our pork shoulder. This particular cut is of the neck, which is a great lean meat to fat ratio. Now you can do this the night before and allow this to sit inside your cooler to marinate for a very long time. Preferably 24 hours would be a good amount of time. So I'm gonna line a tray with some raw banana leaf, take the pork, set it in the center. Fold this over, cover with aluminum. So this will go into the oven for about 3 hours, 160. For our ishnapek, you just simply want to thinly slice red onion. Next, take our Scotch bonnet. Simply slice this as thinly as you possibly can. Then you'll take fresh lime juice, put a lid on that, shake it back and forth to get it going. Just allow this to sit in the fridge for a couple of hours. Once it's done, as you can see, again, the beautiful color of the onions has been pulled out. Now we're gonna build our tacos. So here we have the finished conchinita pibil, which has been pulled apart by hand, rubbed, and had the marinade pushed back through. You can always add just a touch of orange juice again back to it. If you have some pork fat set aside, you can add that back in too to moisten it. Now, super simple, we have our tortillas. Because this meat is nice and cooked, we don't have to do anything else to it. You just want to take a nice little spoonful and go right in the center of the tortilla. Fill them as much or as little as you like, depending on how you like your tacos done. And then we're gonna simply garnish with a little bit of the ishnapek salsa over the top. Finish with a lime wedge and chopped coriander. Here we have our completed dishes of guacamole, a little starter course of sea bass ceviche, tostada, and finally, conchinita pibil, ishnapek.